Out of the 30,000 lines of literature from the Anglo-Saxon period, almost 4,000 lines are preserved in the text of Beowulf. Beowulf is part of the records of the Anglo-Saxon history. Because of the lack of literacy in books in medieval English, passing stories down orally was the key to recording history. This upheld the history of England along with its first settlers. Like most poets of the Anglo-Saxon period, the author of Beowulf is a complete mystery. The type of poet depends on the Christian interpretation of the poem. The Danes were a North Germanic tribe inhabiting southern Scandinavia. They spoke Old Norse, which was shared by Norway and Sweden. The Danes were practitioners of the Norse religion, but during the 10th century of the late Viking Age, they officially adopted Christianity. The Yeats were bold and quick to engage in war, as described by Jordanes. They were also known as Goths. The Yeats weren't a part of Sweden until about 1000 AD. Before, they were politically independent from them. In Beowulf, the actual story is that the Yiddish king helps a Swede to gain the throne. Vikings also spoke the Old Norse language. They mostly lived in northern Europe. The earliest recorded raids were from the 790s and lasted until 1066. This is known as the Viking Age. They were generally a non-literate culture and used runestones to describe themselves. Viking expansion into continental Europe was limited. The Saxons were fierce and were often in conflict with the Vikings. To counter the Saxon aggression, the Danes constructed a huge defense fortification. This led to the violent subduing of the Saxons by Charlemagne. The Saxon defeat resulted in their forced christening and the absorption of Old Saxony into the Carolingian Empire.